Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where I'm continuing to listen through to Just Bring It by BAND-MAID, and we are up to track 7, Take Me Higher. Now, so far this album's been really high quality. Like I said, I've been loving the fact that it's been, I believe it's almost all self-written, but it's really kind of showing through and there's a lot of class, the musicianship's being used well. There's kind of a feeling that everything sits better, that it all works well, and that they have very quickly identified their sound on this album. Now, obviously we know what they've come to sound like more these days in recent years, but certainly this really shows them falling very much on their feet with this record. It has been pretty much rock all the way through. Now, the last track we listened to, Parts, wasn't a personal favourite of mine, but I really did like how it balanced out the album by giving a slightly different sound to things. So I'm not really sure what to expect with Take Me Higher, but by the sound of it, it could be a very positive song. I'm expecting a lot of energy, though, for a song with a name like that. But you don't know till you hear, so I'm just going to hear it now, okay? And then we'll talk more afterwards. Take Me Higher. I got that turned up loud. There's a very sort of strong, old school, heavy riff there. Is it chords or is it riff? It's in that sort of balance between. Very sort of simple, loud sounds. This is a real heavy one, you can tell. They're going for that. Sort of, with exception to all the shredding, less of the intricacies. Let's see where the second verse goes. Signature BAND-MAID, always up it for the second verse. Nice how they dropped everything down into the lower registers of the EQ to give the guitar room, like, sonically. Another great switch up on the drum beat there. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. All about the guitar twiddling there. Okay, it's an interesting one. Got a fair amount to unpack on this one, yeah. How do I really feel about this? Well, first of all, no doubt that's definitely them going for the heavy. You know, they're really rolling out all their heaviest sounds for this one. Like I said, I noticed that a lot of the sounds were much more direct on this, especially in the first verse. You listen to like the drum beat that's being played by Akane there. It's literally like kick, snare, and it's just all the loudest part of the drum kit. Even the sort of cymbals, the top ends of the drum kit pretty much not really there, sort of very muted sounds by comparison to some of their other songs. This is much more about all of the loudest, heaviest sounds. The bass, for the best part, is very, very low, sort of this big, low rumbling sound for the majority of the runtime, and like that riff that secures the beginning of the song and really gives you an idea of where it's going. That is, it's not like one of those fancy, walking riffs. It's very much one you could play in sort of power chords. It's just, it's simple, it's easy to follow, and it's just about having the loudest sound possible. So yeah, it was obvious what the intention of this song was. Does it work? Well, yeah, I mean, of course it works. It's a real rocker. I mean, you can just, I'm guessing it was kind of clear from my reaction that you kind of can't stop bobbing your head throughout it. It's very good at doing that. Now, obviously we have to look at this in the context of what it is. It's an album track. So if I were to say that I don't think that's the catchiest hook ever, I don't think that's particularly an insult for an album track. That's a pretty good hook. The bridge was a nice little touch as well. Like I say, I liked how that sort of went they really lent into the heavy. They went all for the heaviness there, and the bass and everything really dropped down again to something even lower, and you just felt like the whole rhythm section just became like a rumble during the bridge. It was amazing to see Konami was just kind of shredding throughout the entire song. I get the feeling that the riff, like I said, is quite simple. I imagine that Miku was playing that because obviously I know that she, of all of the musicians in the band, is by far the most junior to her instrument. But I think she would have, at this point in their history, even definitely been able to play what was going on there. So I'm imagining that's kind of how it worked. Miku was picking up this simple riff so as to give Konami room to just shred throughout. Now, as you guys know, I'm not exactly the biggest shredding fan. It's something where, as I always say, guitar solos, I do like them if they either are very sort of expressive or they're used to move the arrangement in a certain direction. If it's just shredding for the sake of shredding, then I don't usually go in for that so much. The reason why the shredding was actually kind of fun here was because, in all fairness, and I exclude the second verse when I say this, the song didn't have much in the way of intricacy, which is, certainly for BAND-MAID self-written stuff, is quite unusual. I mean, usually their songs have a lot of intricacy. I mean, there's that real feeling that they're cramming every last bit of detail in that they can, or you could say extracting every single bit of potential they can from, sort of relatively simple song structures that they usually use. They really make every second into something interesting, into like a whole earful. This song felt like it was much more simple. You listen to the chord pattern in the chorus. It's okay, but it's nothing particularly complicated there. It just kind of more feels like a country rock sort of chord pattern. It's everything about the basis of the song is very simple. So what kind of works here is the two things that elevate it. First of all is, like I say, the fact they've really lent into that heaviness and they've really given it sort of a bombastically over-the-top feel with that really rumbling rhythm section. But secondly, the shredding going on throughout just actually gives the song a strange sort of sense of colour. It's not like you're expected to really focus on the guitar twiddling that's happening. It's just kind of bouncing around in the background, thinning up the sound. I mean, that was really clear at the end of the song, where it's just there sort of bolstering everything that's happening. You're supposed to be focusing on the chorus and the chorus vocals, and in my case, certainly I was, but you can kind of tell that the guitar's in the background twiddling and making everything just sound a little bit more crazy. Obviously, yeah, don't get me wrong, there was a bridge where you are supposed to be focusing on the guitar insanity going on there, but Konami's work is here, in my opinion, relatively subtle, which, considering the way she's playing, seems a bit strange, but because it's kind of there to give colour to the whole thing, I think this is kind of Konami's song. I think she's elevated it a lot, and that is kind of telltale in the fact that everyone else is doing relatively simple things. The bass work here is some of the simplest I've heard from Misa, even though she shifts it up and does that kind of slap bass thing higher up the neck in the second verse. But that's typical BAND-MAID, and even with that, she does it for a few bars, and then Konami jumps in and she starts doing the twiddling again. And the work from Akane in the on the drums. Sorry, did I just get Konami and Akane's names mixed up? Apologies if I did. I don't edit on this, so if someone heard that and is already typing a complaint, oops. And if I didn't get it wrong, you're probably wondering what I'm talking about now. Anyway, so yes, let's just cover that again. The second verse, Misa was doing really great on the bass, and then after a few bars, Kanami came in and shifted things up on the guitar, and then I'm getting myself confused. And then Akane on the drums for the best part of the song was actually doing really simple stuff, again, amongst the simplest stuff I've ever heard from her. But she did what she always does, which is clever with how she shifts up the beats, especially towards the end of a song. Sometimes she'll change the rhythm to either speed it up or slow it down in order to, accent what's going on, or maybe sort of take the song away from the certain direction it might be going, to avoid it becoming stale towards the end, because you want the end of the song, with a sort of normal arrangement like they usually have, the verse, chorus, bridge, chorus thing. You want the ending to be somewhat of a crescendo. So as usual, she did a great job of accenting the end of the song, but her work was quite simple in this as well. Psyche's vocals are always brilliant, so there's not really much to say there. So I actually think this is kind of primarily Kanami's song, and she covered that really well. So so anyway, I'm gonna learn to start speaking properly, and then we're going to come back with the next video, which is So What? Now, I always say this, but just in case you don't know, if you're not following this as part of a playlist, this video is part of a track-by-track playlist review of the entire album, so there's a link to that in the description below. Hopefully you're following on that, and I'll see you on the next video in just a couple of seconds. But either way, for now, from Japan, and ciao ciao. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out more of our hundreds of videos we got online on this channel right now, or get involved in the discussion with us at the many social media links we've got in the description below, where you can suggest new videos and artists for us to check out on the channel. Or you can just do the usual YouTube stuff and comment, like, subscribe. You know how this works by now.